Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silent reflection.
Good morning, Needham High School. I'm Brian Warner.
And I'm Adina Jacobson. We'll start this week off with a drop, the Egg Drop Physics Lab. Here's Noah Schachter with more.
The Egg Drop project is an assignment in which students must figure out a way to drop an egg from the 700s without breaking it.
So the Egg Drop project is a interactive engineering activity where students are asked to design a device that will hold an egg, and this egg is then going to be dropped from the 700s balcony, which is about 10 meters up in the air. So we do it in the main lobby, and hopefully they build a device that allows the egg to survive the fall and the crash on the ground when it lands.
It's designed to be an engineering project for the students where they are trying to design and specifically redesign and go through the engineering process of getting feedback, making observations, and redesigning to try to improve their design in order to come up with a final project.
They also are working together in groups, so there's a lot of collaborative planning and coming up with an idea that they all agree on and think will work. So it's some different skills than you traditionally get in a science classroom.
I'm hoping they get exposure to the engineering process. Engineering is obviously one of the jobs that you could, or one of the careers that you could go into if you are interested in physics.
I think doing actual experiments is crucial to learning science. There's only so much you can understand by reading about science and doing problems, but actually having an experience and seeing how these laws come into play in real life and how they are relevant to the world around you, I think is really what makes it relevant to kids and gets them excited to learn and curious about science. I think it's just kind of a classic science experiment that a lot of schools, a lot of teachers do. It's been on TV. I remember seeing it on Modern Family recently, so it's all over the place.
Me personally, when I first started here 11 years ago, Mike Hirsch was doing it. He was having his students doing it as a momentum project to be worked in with our momentum curriculum.
So the science of the egg drop, like I said, we talk about it within momentum and energy. So talking about the changing types of energy as the egg falls, going from gravitational potential to kinetic energy, also analyzing the momentum of the egg and the impulses it experiences in a crash, thinking about how it can sustain a smaller force over a longer time if you take longer to stop the egg, and ultimately that's what allows it to survive.
There's also just the authentic learning experience of having a hands-on project. There's only so much problem solving you can do in physics, and we want to try to get as much hands-on as we can. So it sort of has twofold of exposing them to the engineering and the problem solving piece, but then also just getting away from the paper and pencil and building something with your hands.
For NHSN, I'm Noah Schachter.
Thanks, Noah. Tomorrow night is the third annual French Night, a night to bring French and Francophone culture to Needham and raise money for Water is Life. Sam Zellman of the French Club came in to talk to us about this event. So when will this year's French Night be?
So French Night this year is actually going to be tomorrow, Friday the 27th, and it's going to be at 7 o'clock p.m.
All right. What are you planning to have at the event?
So it's basically like a big French talent show, if you want to think about it that way. So French dancing, French music, French food, free food, free admission for everybody. We're also going to have a silent auction, a lot of fun stuff going on.
So all the proceeds are going to Water is Life. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so it's an organization that seeks to teach people about, sanitary habits with their water. But in addition to that, they also provide these booklets that have water filters inside of them. And on the water filters, there's information printed so that these people know where to find the clean water, and when they find it, they can also purify it.
Right. So if someone wants to be part of French Club and help with future events, how could they do that?
They could always just contact myself. They could contact my co-president, Jacqueline Brinkhouse, or just come by, room 414, Tuesday mornings. We're always happy to have other people there.
All right, super. Thanks for coming.
All right, thank you.
Again, the event begins at 7 p.m. and admission will be free. Don't miss out on this awesome night. There will be a meeting for all interested students to begin planning for next fall's SAMmed production on Monday, March 30th at 2:45 until 3:30 p.m. in room 612, the chorus room. If you would like to be involved in this high school activity, please come to the meeting to find out more.
A heads up that the Gals Club, Girls Achieving Leadership in Service, will be hosting their first annual gala on Friday night, April 10th. More info to come in the next few weeks, but make sure to put this event in your student planner. Now go to Zach Kaplan for sports.
Thanks, guys. While we're still waiting here for the fields to melt in sports, but at this point, it's about as hopeful as juniors trying to park in the upper lot. This week, Shane and I went out to preview the baseball team. This season, they're under new leadership as Coach Freitas has departed after more than 2 decades at the helm. After a few down years of late, the Rockets look to rebound this spring should the snow melt. Shane Cullen and I caught up with our new coach and the team this week to see how Coach Howard and the boys are feeling about this season. What do you say in terms of your experience in the game of baseball?
In terms of kind of my experience in the game of baseball, I'm very excited for the opportunity to coach the Needham High School varsity baseball team. My most recent coaching stints, I am the head coach of the 15 and under AAU baseball team out of Baseball Unlimited, which is a hitting and pitching facility in Waltham, Mass. I've also coached the JV baseball team at Arlington Catholic, where I also served as a school counselor. And most recently this past summer, I served as an assistant coach of the Southwest team as part of the Bay State Games.
All right, and Mr. Howard, what can you say in terms of the teams and their expectations, obviously trying to follow in the footsteps of Coach Freitas? What can you say towards the expectations of the team this season?
I'm very excited to follow in the footsteps of Coach Freitas this season. He certainly built a strong tradition of Needham baseball, and he's been a great mentor going forward. In terms of what we're expecting this year, we're certainly going to compete every day. We're going to play the game the right way, and something that we really stress with our program and with our players is controlling what we can control, which is our attitude and our effort, and letting the rest take care of itself. So we're going to be prepared. We're going to make aggressive decisions on the base paths. We're going to be aggressive hitters. And as a pitching staff and defensively, we really want to throw strikes, keep the ball down, and make the plays defensively, and put ourselves in a position to win games.
And then one last question. Obviously, the Bay State Conference is a pretty competitive league. You got Framingham is always strong, Newton North, the defending state champions. How do you see your team performing in comparison to the strong Bay State Conference?
We're very excited. I think it's going to be an exciting year. Very excited, especially to be part of the Bay State Conference. So this year they've actually gone to 7 innings because of the weather. But just like you had mentioned, Newton North and Braintree coming back very strong from last year, and a lot of the other programs historically that are strong. So we're very excited to compete, and we expect to go out there and compete each and every day, varsity, JV, and freshman. So we're excited about the opportunity.
All right, thank you for your time. That wraps up the week in sports, but the games are just around the corner. For NHSN Sports, I'm Zach Kaplan.
Hi, I'm Sarah Breitbart Frischling, filling in for Julia Ornstein, and welcome to NHSN Compliments. Audrey Schachter is as radiant as the sun. Additionally, her brother Noah Schachter will be having his 17th birthday this Saturday, March 28th. Happy birthday, Noah. Also, shout out to Julia Ritzy. We'd like to add an additional compliment today. We'd like to thank our very own Julia Ornstein for coming each week to film Compliments. For NHSN Compliments, I'm Sarah Breitbart Frischling.
That's it for this week.
See you next time on NHSN.